there's just not a lot of love going around.
Yeah, we became real selfish after the selfie. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Well, selfish when it became, we latched onto that whiteness trait of rugged individualism. So when we started embracing materialism, consumerism, it all became about ourselves and no longer about how we help each other make sure everyone eats. If I have one bean, we're all eating an eighth.
Now, one of the things, and I'm listening and learning at the same time, and I've been on this planet 66 years now. So what I've noticed and what I'm advocating now, we do have a collective of grassroots organizations coming together, and we've put together a palm card, a list of demands that we're going to submit into the various politicians, various government agencies. The problem why the other culture, in particular the European culture, number one, that police force was designed specifically to keep us in check. So they knew that they had the laws and the establishment supporting them. So what we never did as a people, as a community, we never created an air of pushback or repercussions or their ill will against our children. And that was the main thing that I posted on my Facebook page about this situation this morning, is that we need to create an air of transparency and pushback. And all of our community groups are coming together, and we're going to invite you to the dinner and discussion that we have coming up. And that collective will focus on the specific items, issues of economics, education, law enforcement, and those sort of issues. And what will happen is that administration, when they find out that if I mess with those black babies, it creates ill will, there's going to be some pushback. They're not getting that now. There's going to be some serious pushback, and this is kind of pushback I'm talking about. We're going to find out who they are, who's responsible. We're going to broadcast them, whoever they're associated with. We're going to boycott them and their associates. We're going to raise money, file lawsuits, and we have to affect their culture of constantly oppressing us and playing those kind of head games in terms of getting us to submit to this bull crap that we've been dealing with for 400 years. So have you, I'm asking this question, and I know the answer. You've reached out to some of the other agencies that I don't feel that are going to really provide any teeth.
But there are actually avenues for them to be able to get to where they need to speak. Not everything needs to be done in an oppositional manner. I mean, what's the safest thing to do but be a grieving mother that wants to help other people and just bring out education and awareness for what your child can and cannot do and what a parent can and cannot do. Then there just needs to be another group that actually does the pushback and the manhandling. You can't be both when you want to make headway.
Well, I think if you do something wrong, you're going to get hit upside the head. You'll think second about it, and that's what I'm advocating. We need to create an air that if you mess with our babies, you're going to get hit upside the head.
It's not only the threat of being hit upside the head; it's also the threat of being have food taken off of the table.
You need to affect their emotions with their money.
Somebody else is digging in your pocket. That's a big old.
That's what I mean. Economics. You mess with the economics. That's hitting them upside the head.
Off of their table. Yeah, I mean, it gets the attention and it shows them not to do that type of thing again. And as far as the other groups and everybody that's concerned, we as a people don't have to be the pronoun and the noun.
Exactly.
And that's where we go wrong with a lot of these organizations. Everybody's trying to be the noun and they name on it. We need to be that verb. We need to get that action and get the job done and get these things done. And sometimes you can get those things done quietly.
Right. And this is what I love about this right here. You're a physical embodiment of, really a man and woman relationship and a marriage. And you're going in and talking to people and you're relating on the emotional side, and you are going back and being like full force DJ enforcer here, bringing the pain, and it's just an implied threat. You haven't said anything, but they know.
I believe that we have been chosen for this.
I cannot argue that.
It didn't happen. He did not lose his life in vain. Okay, so you're definitely the purpose.
And right now, I just want to advocate about this upcoming fair year.
Please tell us about that.
Okay, as it stands right now, if I'm the average Joe Mo, George Zimmerman, that has a permit to carry a weapon, right? If I show this permit at the front gate, I'm allowed to come in the fair with my gun, right? So you can't have guns, because the year that this happened to my son in 2014, there was 113 legal guns that came through the front gate.
Why are they carrying guns at the fair where there are children?
Regardless why they care, but the second part is what's really important. It's you can't have guns, legal guns, coming through the front gates on student day, meaning kids, and alcohol in the same environment, in the standing ground state where, this place has been known to be have riots. They had riots, brawls, and there's a lot of little black kids running around, and they got gangs, and I have the right to stand my ground, and you just push me. This is an atom bomb that's waiting to explode, and the school is participating in this on a consistent basis.
Well, they need to pick one. They need to pick guns or alcohol,
and that's where we are this year.
Okay.
First of all, permission slips need to go home out of the school to say that I want my child to participate in this fair. And they need to be warned that they have guns and all this kind of activity at the fair. And you sign a consent slip like you do with any other school function event.
I thought we don't, because they made it an actual day that you're off from school.
You see, as a parent, you almost strong-armed to participate in this fair.
Because they call it fair day.
Because it's fair day, they have the whole complete day off of school, and I'm going to give you a free ticket. So, as a parent, if you're telling your child you can't go to the fair, there's so much pressure because the whole community is involved. We have the whole day off of school. We got a free ticket, and everybody in the neighborhood is going.
They're just going to change it to a parent-teacher planning day.
And really, we're not doing that very well academically to take a whole day off of school.
Or any of the half days.
And as a result, this 2014, as a result for everybody taking the school day off, the school received $1.5 million.
For what?
For taking a day off. Yeah, we have to work every day. They take a day off from participating in this fair. So what they're doing is they're selling our kids. They're selling our kids. And there's nothing down there in Cracker Country, which is a spot inside of the fair. Not making this up.
I know.
There's nothing down there in Cracker Country doing Black History Month for us.
Nothing. Well, nothing. There's a lot of nothing for us.
Nothing.
Here.
Nothing. But they're making it's a cash cow for them. And anything that goes wrong down there, we're getting the blame.
That's crazy. Well, I maintain what you're doing. This is what, again, your son did not die in vain, because this is your charge. This is your challenge to make a difference in this mindset of the administration of this type of the institution. The Florida State Fairgrounds have been around for a while. I was back in the 50s. I experienced the Negro Day, and this madness definitely, and that sort of mindset, it needs to go away. So if you can repeat the events that are coming up and giving out more information about your organization, how people can get in touch with you.
Actually, I'm sorry, before you start, I was going to bring Sadie Dean in and Angel D'Angelo in, because they are with the Restorative Justice Coalition that I know that you partner with for this, and they've been helping you highlight and broadcast this. And I just wanted to hear from them a little bit about how, I want to hear from you both about how you guys came together, and everything that you're doing with regards to this protest, and how people can find out about it through the Restorative Justice Coalition, through the Andrew Joseph Foundation. So
yes, at the moment we were dealing with this by ourselves. This was a family just determined to get justice, and it was organizations who had come up, who had approached, who had actually said, we're going to help you. And we were elated by that. We appreciated having that support of a community of organizations such as Restorative Justice, who has engaged in a petition having that petition going to the public community meetings at the Florida State Fair, advocating with organizations and making people understand that this was not an isolated incident and this could possibly happen to them if given the fact that safety is not the first and number one priority. So definitely it has been a planning stage. We've been planning for this weekend of events for almost a year now. And we're asking that the community come out, contact us through the AndrewJosephFoundation.com. We have a website. Donations can be made to the organization by texting AJ Soares to 50155. We have an evening of arts benefit on Saturday, February 9th, 2019 at Tampa Heights Junior Civic Association. And we're going to have silent auctions as well as comedians and poets to come out. And that's just a fundraising, trying to spearhead some funding and revenue for the programs that we want to see come into the community.
Right, because Blacktivism costs money, and you can't keep doing it on your own. But if you would, the community is definitely able to be accessed through In Touch News. There's a Facebook page for In Touch News Radio. If you would go on that page and put all that information on there and a link to your site, that would be great. And if you would also do that at the Straight Talk Productions page, that's another cross-section of the community that you'll be able to reach through there. And I'll come find you and post it on my page as well. I'll send you a request, because I know that I've been in you guys' conversations. Sadie, and D'Angelo. Angel, I do this every time. Angel, why don't you tell me how you brought this to Sadie? What happened? What did you see? I mean, you just have such a big heart. You need to go ahead and tell us about it.
The way it happened was we just met in a meeting.
Right, but you were Restorative Justice Coalition before.
Yes. So Restorative Justice Coalition started, but Sadie and I were kind of working with some community members about criminal justice reform.
Right.
And the work we were doing really didn't have any teeth. It was just talking and we should do this and that
right.
and this and that. And it's like, okay, well, we already kind of know what we should do. So,
it's exhausting.
Yeah, let's actually build a organization that's going to go out there and do things in the community and provide mutual aid and at least try to get something done.
Right. So you're like Hydra, not a good example. Hydra from the Avengers, you have your head and then you got all your tentacles, but the tentacles aren't really you. They're all independently working towards this larger goal of social justice. So all these little arms are doing something. So someone's doing a tampon and pad drive, another one's doing a food drive, another one's feeding school kids. You're over here harassing Jane Kasser.
Yes. Yes, we have to make sure, don't vote for her for mayor. We have to make sure that we are constantly engaging everybody. Nobody gets a break. We said at the fairgrounds, Mr. Joseph said, you may give me 30 seconds or 3 minutes and 30 seconds up here to talk, but I have a lifetime of pain to live with. You all get to go home after this.
Right.
So they get to go home and lay their heads down at night and feel good about themselves.
Right.
The system have told them they're right. Also,
and you're not just talking. I know you guys recently were thrown out of TPD offices.
Yes, that was actually last year.
Okay.
In March, they had killed a man named Sidney Richardson, who was a veteran suffering from PTSD.
Yes.
And he was a black man. And when the police arrived, instead of de-escalating the situation, they shot him and killed him in front of his 16 or 17-year-old niece. His life was taken. So naturally, we took to protest. And then we also decided we would have a meeting with the police chief about some accountability measures that they could implement that have been proven to at least reduce these incidents. And he got angry, said we were accusing him of being racist, which we never said the word racist. So
yes, he did. He told on himself.
Yeah.
It's understandable. Okay, so now going to the fairgrounds, because it's that time almost. We are having a protest.
Yes.
Please tell us about that. What you're doing, what's the protest? People don't have to come wearing, pepper spray masks or anything.
No, we are. It's going to be a peaceful demonstration at the fairgrounds in their First Amendment zone. We usually do
a First Amendment zone. I understand this is new.
It's been there. It was there last year, at least the year before. But yeah, it's where we're legally allowed to use our First Amendment. We'll be there doing chants and having speakers and music. have some signs, and giving out information to the public about the cause. It'll start at noon, and we'll actually be there until the fair closes on Student Day Friday.
And where exactly is the First Amendment zone? Is it in an area where no one goes?
It's on the way towards the main entrance. Gate
4 on 301.
Yeah, so
Okay.
from 301, Gate 4. I also wanted to say something. Although we're focusing on the fairgrounds, it's also important to know that our Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office year-round is still running around unaccountable. And I personally believe that they need a phone call from the public. So,
Well, I mean, you want to get thrown out of that office too.
Sheriff Chronister won't throw me out. We go way back.
We go way back.
So one thing that disturbs me as a citizen here is that there has been no police report given about this incident with Andrew Joseph III.
Even through Freedom of Information Act?
Can't get it.
Was there one generated?
Makes you question, doesn't it?
I don't think there was.
So we want people to call the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office professional standards line and ask them to have some professional standards.
Oh, to follow their own rules? Okay, yeah, right. All right, so this is the show with Andre and Marlene. And yes, Mr. Darrell's telling me I have to go to break. I got the yellow card. And when we come back, we're going to hear from the 2018 Black Activist of the Year. Okay, she was just the activist, but I'm just going to call her the Blacktivist when we come back.
You're playing. With a smooth touch of jazz. You're listening to In Touch Radio.
Hey, this is Miss K with K's Kitchen, cooking Chicago-style fried chicken and fish with the authentic Chicago-style mild sauce. Come check us out at 5508 North 50th Street in Tampa. We're open Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 6, or you can call us at 813-368-5196. Again, that number is 813-368-5196. See you soon.
My name is Gil Sampson. I didn't come from a very rich family, and so paying for college would have been very tough. I don't know if I would have been able to go to the college that I went to, and then I don't know if I would have gotten into the career that I am in. So I think Bright Futures has done a lot to shape my life. I got a job as a structural engineer, and I design residential buildings, commercial buildings all over the United States. Because of Bright Futures, I was able to go to college. You know, so many kids just don't even ever get that opportunity. And to be able to do it and not have any debt when I graduated is amazing. And it was all thanks to Bright Futures.
Florida has created more than 1 million jobs in only 5 years, and a great education connects our students to these exciting opportunities. That's why the Florida Lottery has funded Bright Futures scholarships to help over 725,000 students attend college. Because every play is for education. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
This is the show with Andre and Marlene, and we're here with the Restorative Justice Coalition, Miss Deanna Joseph and her husband. He's outside because, you know, it's a little tight in here. And I have Angel and Sadie. But Sadie, last year you were given the 2018 Activist Award. Who gave that to you and for why?
Well, it was a super surprise for me. But the Ybor Stogie, which is run by a community member named Julio, who really attends some progressive events. And it was really beautiful. It's like I said, it's still a complete surprise to me, but just surrounding the work that we're doing here in Tampa.
So humble. But I mean, you didn't get it for doing nothing. Let's stop playing.
No, but you know what? Like I mentioned to you before, I'm a reflection of all the activists and advocates and community members around
You
me.
couldn't do it by yourself. That's
Oh, yeah.
right. That's right. And you got little Angel over here.
Yes, my ride or die, D'Angelo.
Okay, so Restorative Justice Coalition, of course, we've established that you're working with Ms. Joseph, and you are also working with the family of the person that was killed by the police, you just said?
Sydney Richardson. That's something that we still do advocate for because we understand that de-escalation is incredibly important and something that TPD and Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office still don't see as a priority.
Especially with people that are possibly mentally ill and they're not aware. That's why you can't shoot first all the time. Well, you can't ever. Actually, I mean, other countries don't even have guns. They carry clubs. Just, break a spine or something. But at least they're alive. I'm just saying. I mean, don't do that, but darn, I cannot. It's just, a little early. But, wow. So what else are you doing?
So right now, Restorative Justice Coalition plans to roll out our 2019 platform. We're going to continue to serve our community and support the Joseph family. Something that D'Angelo mentioned earlier that I just want to bring up again, the Joseph family still has not received a police report. So what we're asking folks to do is to call the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office and really blast them. Share this with as many friends as possible. But we're going to call the Professional Standards section, and that number is 813-247-8080. Again, that's 813-247-8080.
Do they have a Twitter account?
Chad Chronister does have a Twitter account.
We should tweet him.
Mm-hmm. So we want to make sure that the Joseph family receives that police report. It has been 5 years since they've lost their son. They deserve justice. They deserve to know what happened.
Create a standing invite for that so it goes out every day.
It is critical for your case, too, as well, right?
I'll let Miss...
Yeah. Okay, so, and this is why we need this pushback thing. Sadie, did you get your email for the February 13th dinner?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so make sure you reserve because this is the only way we're going to get them to pay attention. We have to bring all of these grassroots organizations together that are out in the community, and we need to bring the databases together so that when we have these injustices, then we send a note out and said we're going to flood this email account, this telephone, and that's the only way it's going to be effective,
And our community is so accustomed to not coming out and expressing that. For me not to have a police report is standard, I would gather, in this community.
Well, they're violating due process,
right.
period.
Just to know that even the Florida Highway Patrol, when Andrew was killed, he's a corporal, and he forgot the policies and procedures of doing a vehicular homicide investigation.
Wow.
And then I file a grievance with Tallahassee, and they come back and send me a letter saying, Mr. and Mrs. Joseph, he read the handbook. Now he understands. We had him sign this paper, and we gave him counseling.
But where's the report?
Okay, so it's just the blatantly disrespectful
lying.
And well, whether he was lying or not, I have documentation saying that our corporal did not follow policy and procedure. This is with Florida Highway Patrol, though.
There's
this is
a
the second
quadrillion
phase.
miles of interstate here that FHP patrols.
Correct.
And there's no way that there are not homicides and vehicular manslaughters happening on it. It's the same report. You just check off homicide, accident, manslaughter, whatever.
The thing is, when the 19-year-old killed Andrew on the highway, there was supposed to be a drug and alcohol requested, a screening.
He wasn't screened.
He was not. He was not even asked to be screened. He was able to leave with Andrew's remains on the vehicle as if nothing had happened that night.
No crime scene put up.
Exactly.
No investigation,
with
basically.
With the corporal being in the position that he's in, how many other cases you forgot the policy and procedure and did not do the due diligence?
Was the driver white or no?
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, okay. It explains a lot. I'll say it. It explains a lot.
So
he had the complexion for protection.
Right. Jonathan Hatfield, a 19-year-old white boy that's coming from the casino, coming from the fair, going to the casino, has a long history of reckless driving. And while he was involved in this accident, he had an open ticket for his tents being too dark.
And he was not was not arrested.
We can't touch him at all in his Geico insurance because he was never charged at the crime. He's never charged at the scene. Now, 2 weeks later, Jonathan Hatfield was stealing big screen TVs out of Walmart. He was take him out the back and going through the garden center with him. Walmart realized the TVs was missing out the back and wasn't coming through the cash register, so they was watching TVs that Sunday. And Jonathan Hatfield came back in and took the TV, went out the back, and they arrested Jonathan Hatfield, and there was blood that was shed then. And Jonathan Hatfield showed up in Polk County Court for this charge with Walmart, and Walmart didn't show up. So they was about to give Jonathan another slap on the wrist, but luckily I was there.
Wow. So basically what we're showing in the history is telling us is, again, that no matter how trash and raggedy the whiteness is, the blackness is always going to be a victim.
They made a promise to white folks a long time ago. It don't matter what kind of trailer trash you are, you will always be better than the best black man.
That's right. That's right.
So on that note, Deanna and Andrew, man, I've never experienced that, and nobody can ever measure the experience that you're going through. A parent losing a child.
Probably fighting because it's the worst feeling in the world to have to go to the graveyard to visit your child.
I understand. So people, if that doesn't wake you up, to put some fire under you, if you have an organization. Send your email information to andrehill930@gmail, and so we can send you out an invite. We're bringing these community organizations, and now if you're a sellout organization and you're looking for favoritism and you're not about the community, don't send your email. But if you are a warrior and you understand that in numbers we can make a difference, send an email. And we're going to send you an invite. We have a free dinner coming up on February the 13th.
You might want them to put that information on the Straight Talk Productions page, because that's where the community gathers.
All right,
my brother, Facebook.
Yeah, it was. I'm old school, man.
Well, I mean, it's just like you're hoarding all the
I'm
information.
going to hold on to that. I'm learning. I just been on Facebook 2 weeks.
You got to catch up, unless you're going to become extinct.
Well, we are, and if it was up to Marlene, they'd be throwing the final dirt on us right away, right now,
leaving skid marks and backing up on it.
See, there we are. So again, the next week, I promised on my Facebook page, we have an interesting guest coming in next week. Michael Clayton, a former Buck, and also a former Channel 10 show host, and he's no longer with them. Last week we talked about the importance of us having control of our own media. So we're going to talk to Michael Clayton about that. You remember last week I thought we need to raise a couple of $1 million to get with Daryl, our producer here, and then let's build a studio. Let's get an antenna. Let's get our own TV, our own radio, and broadcast for our people, because the other groups, they don't care. They are users, they are pimpers, but they don't care about us. And we got to wake up to that reality and come together, get rid of those egos, and stop tripping. Again, I'm headed over at 11 a.m. at Seminole Heights, Connie Burton, and the Restoration of Right crew. They're going to be there at around 11 a.m., Seminole Heights Library. And if you are a returning citizen and you got your rights restored, you want to get with this, because this is how we are going to make that change. So go, get out, come out and hang out with me, Connie, and a few other people. Also, again, Daryl Madison's tax service, he contributed in the community, so give him a call, 813-872-9900. The man is reinvesting back into the community, and support those businesses. We're out. We'll see you next Saturday.
Yeah,
I know, right, right.
Move on the dark skin brothers held out, man. I'm just saying, you know.
I hear you. I hear you. Well, look, man, we're gonna jump into the week, and I just tell you from a personal perspective, man. I've got a major shout out. You know, this last couple years, we've been talking about this startup that I've been working on, and man, we got the first round of funding to get this thing done. I gotta just thank my wife for being there, man, from day one. Y'all, to see a concept go from in your mind to a place of actually starting to build it. So we'll be talking to, you know, people like USAA, AARP.
Okay.
These type people. It's a medical alert app that tells you it's time to take your medicine. Wow. So, you know, look, hey, Morris Day, if you're listening out there, I'm coming to you for the commercial. What time is it? I'm coming to you.
Hey, you know what, man? He is always in character. I ran into Morris Day probably about a year or two ago. They had a show here in Tampa. And the dude came to the hotel lobby, man. I
saw him in Charlotte, man. Same thing.
Talk to him. He act like Morris Day.
Right.
No, congratulations on that.
I appreciate that, man.
Because two things about that, Drew. And Drew Pittman's a great entrepreneur, great mind. And I say that because a lot of people, one, they don't have a dream or they don't have a vision. And then they miss the other piece of this. And this is the biggest piece. They don't have the courage.
I appreciate that,
to chase it.
Appreciate that.
That's what it takes. The difference between success and failure is not ability. Those are tangible. It's the courage to pursue it doggedly until you achieve it.
Hey, look here,
really
DJ CEO. I was just joking with him about church. He about to make me going up to the altar, man. He about to make me going up to the altar. Boy, quit talking, man. Quit talking.
But no, congratulations on that. Congratulations on that, man.
And man, you know what? And I'm gonna say this, Daryl. I'm gonna say this to you. I'm gonna say this to you, Clint, and Tony. I know you're in class. Betty, I hope you're listening. But man, it was all of y'all, you know, just encouraging me. Daryl, me seeing you with a vision, you turned it into a dream that you conceptualized, that you made into something real. I see that around me. I know it can be done. I see you as a lawyer, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate
Stetson,
that, man.
I looked check you out on LinkedIn, and I see who you connected to.
I'm just picking the cotton. I'm just picking cotton, man. The cotton got to get picked, man. We can't leave it in the field, man.
Perfect segue. Let's go to Virginia, man. Let's go to Virginia.
Oh, boy.
So, Daryl, all right. I'm looking at it the other day, man, because like I said, I got stuff going on this week. I ain't looking at it like that. So I just flashed by it. This morning, my wife shows me the real picture. Daryl, I'm from South Carolina, man. That wasn't a side job. That was a professional. I sat up in the studio and went blackface job, man. It was ready for the world. I didn't know it was that bad. But the thing that my wife picked out was, you know, he still has not said
who he is.
Right, who he was.
How do you know what that means? He's the worst character.
Up to 2, okay.
Yeah, you know, let me say this, though. I'm always dismayed when I see that kind of stuff. I'm not surprised, you know, and I won't be discouraged by seeing it. I'm just reminded that we're still in this fight.
Still there.
You know, and just have to deal with it. The question, though, becomes, the first thing is, how do we deal with it? What does that say about where America is with race is the first question. Where are we? Because I thought I was talking to my kids about it. Because I like getting there. I said, listen, I see 3 bad choices here that reflect his mind. The first one was to get in the get up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To get, and I said, you know, I'm trying to fix in my mind what circumstance and situation where somebody could get me to put on a dress and makeup, which is what that was.
No, not that one. Not that one. Now you talking about the one here in Florida?
No. We'll get to that.
Okay,
we'll get to that. I'm talking about the Virginia.
Okay,
but my mind had to be in a certain place where I somehow think that is entertaining or appropriate for me in medical school.
Right.
That's the first thing. Then the second one is I gotta call somebody over to take this picture. Not that I did it. It's one thing, you know, we doing something. Hey, you know, all right, let's go ahead. Who got a camera? Put that camera down.
Right.
He calls somebody, hey, get this picture and pose for the picture. That's a 2-step. First, do it. Second, document it. The third one is at the end of his medical career, it's time to put in for posterity my image that I want everyone to recall when they think about me in the yearbook page that I'm paying for. And of all the pictures I picked out of me helping babies, rescuing kittens, all the work I did, I picked that. I want to be remembered.
Why would you put that in your medical yearbook?
And then the administration who published
printed it. Right.
Those were the things.
Exactly. How did this picture even get out?
We emptied the editorial staff at USF in 1986 because they printed a picture of a guy being lynched, and it was like for a party. It was like, and I remember to this day, they said, "The dead don't dance. Come dance with us."
That's right.
And you looked at, and it was a person being lynched, and they show all the faces looking up at the person being lynched. Man, we marched on the administration building, zip tied our hands together. Man, we singing all Negro spirituals, and we cleaned out the editorial staff for lack of sensitivity.
So, but think about it though. That was then. Would that have effective? I mean, would that be effective now?
What do you mean? The process.
If everybody goes and marches in Virginia. But the other thing is, does he need to resign? Does he actually need to resign for something that he did?
In the era of the Trump Hollywood Access tape.
Right.
I don't think.
He doesn't need to.
Politically, he could survive this. The thing is it good for him to survive, though? Or is it good to run him out? I don't know. Think about this, though. Let's assume that is true. And he has atoned and lived his life different than that. He matured,
right,
and he became a different person. And his life work reflects that. Do we want people to be buried for making a bad decision But I got 4 decisions here.
Right.
I got 4 decisions
now,
here.
And that's what we get into sometimes about like even the Me Too movement. Look, if a person has a persistent behavior set, I mean, for years he's been doing this, he absolutely needs to be punished for that. Now, after a person receives their punishment, does it mean that they can't go out and even make a living anymore?
I don't even know about the punishment. Can people be redeemed? Can people atone for past?
Well, but before they get there, they have to answer for what they've done.
Right.
They absolutely. And if a person has done that, I'm saying under that premise, if a person has repaid their debt to society or on their way,
right,
I disagree with people wanting to take every bit of or possibility of them to be able to survive out here away from them.
Let me just interject. The reason the KKK wears a robe is so that they can hide all their ill deeds as they continue to be the person that they are.
Their identity. So that nobody knows who they are.
Nobody knows who, you're doing it in the shadows.
And so whatever he was then, he is still now.
Yeah, it's highly possible. Because really, I can do stuff that looks or appear. It's kind of like, I think why the evangelicals accept Donald Trump. They accept that he's a flawed person up and down. They get all that.
Well, but
what he's doing benefits them, so we're gonna go with this.
Exactly. That's what it is. I mean, I don't even think they care because there's no way in the world you can line up biblically supporting unless you're just saying I am going after one issue, which they usually seem to make abortion.
So let's dig in this a little bit about. So let's start with 1984 when this was done. How out of line with the norms would it have been for him to do something like that?
But this is what I was explaining to someone. This is 1984 in Virginia. People have a perception of Virginia as being this progressive state. No, it is not.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, come on. That's my neck of the woods.
Okay.
So Virginia is not this. It's Thomas Jefferson. We have this false sense of Thomas Jefferson being this classical, he was a great mind and all that. But in some ways he was very he was dirty. Look at the whole black family that he had.
But that was the norm. But that was the norm at the time.
No.
That was the norm at the time.
Absolutely. But still, that does not exonerate the character flaw and what he was doing. But, regardless.
Okay, so hold on. Let me say this.
Okay.
Because I believe character is really, it's not an innate thing. It is really something that is either established
It's worked out
and reinforced by society. I'll give you a simple thing.
Okay, I'm going to challenge you on that. What's a good one?
The day's going to come when let me say this then. So I was in a deposition recently, and I had a young guy, 54 years old, being deposed. and they were asking him about what he does around the house.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "What do you mean? What I do around the house? I don't do nothing around the house. You do dishes? I don't do no dishes. You cook? I don't cook. You laundry? No, I don't do cook." And it was interesting listening to me have this guy question. He started to sound like a dinosaur. But I'm thinking, wait a minute. People won't like hearing that. People like hearing now. I help out around the kitchen. I clean up a little bit. Right. So because our society is changing in what we. So even though this guy is not a mean guy, a bad guy, his home structure now sounds like, hey, you over there running an old fashioned, repressed,
Which is why I say character is what it is, in spite of what the societal norms are. That's real character. That's what it is. Character does not bend itself to acquiesce to whatever else is going on.
What do these pictures say about his character at the time? I'm not going to say
at that
today.
time it's flawed. I mean, it's totally flawed. And again, being from the South, it is what it is. And if this was only 30 years ago, I mean, a leopard doesn't change his spots. No,
I mean, I got to disagree, because I think that we are products of our environment. And let's say he's raised in an environment where he is taught those things.
Right.
And that's what he believed at the time. But as he grows and matures as a person, he starts to realize, wait a minute, I see other things. I see this differently. Those people, they bathe and take nap. They're not even wicked.
I get you there, but what we're talking about, though, is from a political standpoint. And if you look at his political record, he seems like a true blue blood conservative Democrat. I mean, he votes a lot of times with the Republican Party.
Okay, I don't know his politics very well.
Right, so that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
If we're going to look at,
that's
the party,
okay to make him racist.
I'm not saying that, but going back to your point of, what is the Republican Party really standing for these days?
There is no Republican Party. We have Republicans, but the party gone.
Okay, all right. Well,
you got the party of Trump. The party is Trump.
Well, okay, right. And so that party, if you want to look at it from that party's perspective,
it used to be one of, I think, this thing, and Darryl hit on it, where people hid their racist, their discriminatory ideas and tendencies, and now they're more overt at willing to say them out loud. I think that's really what Trump has brought out.
Right. He's giving them a level of comfort. I was listening to something on Fresh Air with Terry Gross on NPR, where she was talking to someone who had written a book about white nationalists and why they had aligned themselves to Trump. And it's because they actually feel that he speaks their agenda, maybe not overtly.
Oh, he speaks it overtly, he speaks it directly and intentionally.
Well, and that's the thing. You can't say what a person's true intentions are, because then he turns around and he does something like the crime bill to make it look as if he does have the interests of minorities in mind. But overall, yeah. I mean, you listen to the rhetoric that he uses to empower, to basically, engage his base.
Right.
Yeah.
No,
that's what it looks like.
There's no doubt he recognized something that we didn't. He recognized that there was a strong undercurrent of people in this country who felt that they were not being spoken to. And he spoke directly to those people. But in 1984, the thing that gets me about this thing that's so egregious in that time is it seemed out of step then. That was I can't imagine.
Where'd you grow? Oh, well, you were in Florida then?
I grew up in Florida. I was in college then.
That's right. Okay.
I
Well,
was
look.
in college then.
You don't remember the Confederate flag issue at the U.S. or the State House in South Carolina?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, then. That was full-fledged then.
Right, but we had but that's been an ongoing issue throughout America. So the flag piece, but the issue for me is that to me is different than this.
No, but that's what I'm telling you.
Because the flag to me, I can see how somebody multiple generations later hear about great-granddaddy Rufus who fought in this war, and they're not trying to dishonor, even though they don't understand, they may not agree, but they're not willing to go so far as to disregard and what he served and what he did. Okay. I can tolerate that multiple generations later. But he's doing this himself.
No, but what I'm saying is, I'm telling you that was the environment, because that's not the way we felt in South Carolina. We felt like in Germany, you don't see the Nazis still flying a flag.
It's against the law.
Right, exactly.
It's against the law.
In most countries where the opposition rose up,
right,
that rose up and lost,
right,
you don't see their flags flying.
Right, because you have laws to say, but that's not
Exactly.
America. But
America's,
you know.
Hey, we got to go to break. What we gonna talk about when we come back on the other side?
No,
man?
I got.
We're gonna talk about.
I gotta come to the. I gotta come to the present.
Okay.
I gotta bring this forward because
because we gotta get to Roger Stone, man.
Man, Roger Stone was smart, man.
In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star. You're on Straight Up the Middle. 813-444-9588.
Wait, hey, man, where is that good?
In Touch Radio, where you can listen to a cruising flow of smooth soul and jazz, today's R&B, a fun touch of hip-hop and gospel.
All my music on one station.
Giving you a buffet of music, news, and entertainment. We're In Touch Radio.
I'm an independent.
I'm a Republican.
I'm a Democrat. And you're listening to Straight Up the Middle.
Straight Up the Middle, Tampa Bay's premier Saturday morning talk show focusing on politics, hot topics, and current events, where we have open, civil, respectful dialogue, which we hope is not only informational, but also entertaining. Join us at 10 a.m. on Saturday mornings for Straight Up the Middle on In Touch News.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star. You're on Straight Up the Middle. Phone number is 813-444-9588, 813-444-9588. And we're talking about the issue in Virginia. Some are saying that Governor Northam needs to resign. Some are saying, he's apologized for it. He has a track record of doing things that seem as if he's trying to make change. So, do we forgive him?
And I mean, I don't know about whether we forgive him or not. I've got to get him. I want the full picture. I mean, we can knee-jerk react so quickly without the full picture. We create a bigger situation.
But does that not contradict that whole thing of redemption? If we got to forgive him.
I would love the environment where people come forward and say, man, this
I was messed up back then.
This is where I was. And you know what? So
right.
I've grown to where I am now. The fact that he didn't answer who he was probably more troubling to me now, because now I felt like you're still trying to hide. You're not trying to own as much of that moment, because I've seen people that did bad things, and you just see it just tearing them up.
Right.
They're just pouring out their heart. They're really torn up by, man, how did I get that so wrong? And I got to go back and think about what was I thinking and how I got there.
Right. And usually something like this serves as that catalyst. And whereas with him, I won't say it's defiant, but it's not. I don't get that. Hey, I was really sorry about this. Look, it happened. That's kind of what I get from it.
My preference would be for him to resign.
Really,
that would be my preference. I think the messaging should be the punishment, the consequences for this level of egregiousness. This is different than what Al Franken did. He took a silly picture pretending to reach at somebody. He took a silly picture pretending to reach at somebody who didn't even know that had happened, and he had to resign.
Right.
This guy made multiple steps espousing a horrific, mindset.
I mean, either one of them is bad. And the thing is, if he did this, I'm almost certain this is not his first time doing something along these lines.
Well,
you just don't jump out.
Because now they found something else.
Right.
In his high school yearbook,
so
they've got a picture of him there where he refers to him. He calls himself Coon Man.
Well, and that's okay. So I didn't even hear that, but now that we've heard that, he's done. He's done.
But again, could he have matured and developed beyond? I'll give you a good example.
Hey, Clint, hold on. Again, invoking my South Carolina privilege here. You don't go from Coon Man to Blackface or KKK guy in 1984 to I don't see it.
Coon Man.
Oh, wow.
Cool,
Are you
man.
serious?
So now let's how do and I wish my Republican brother was here, Professor Seabrook, because here's my thought is, how did the Republicans miss this when he was running for office?
They didn't.
He's on their side.
You think?
You know, that's what they say. Look at his voting record. He's a conservative.
Because he called he called his
Democrat.
candidate. How did they? I think if it were me, and I ran for office, I would be highly upset with my kid that you all didn't discover this. The first place you go is the yearbooks. The high school friend. They got Kavanaugh. What did they get Kavanaugh for? They were all over here for his yearbook.
Right.
You know.
Right. But then you guys on the left would say, hey, we got that going on with the president and Putin right now.
Yes, absolutely. No, I agree with that. No, we would definitely say that.
You get your man in office.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
You know?
but that to me, and then so now, what position do the candidates take as relates to him? I think Cory Booker's he needs to resign. Who declared? Yes, I mean poor Cory. He declares for president and just gets swallowed up.
Exactly.
After Kamala Harris,
and Kamala she just handles the whole Sunday afternoon, right?
She had a whole week,
She
man.
did. She did.
Hey, man, brothers eating her up. They shouting her out from Howard.
She's shutting down.
They shouting out her sister.
She's shutting down me watching golf. I'm
like eating it up, man. They're eating it up.
I shut down the sports and everything because I'll be honest with you. I back in the days I was a Willie Brown guy, man. I thought Willie Brown was the sharpest in the world, man. He's powerful too. Daryl, you know, yeah. Willie was that guy, man. Especially being a brother who was on. He get to 60 Minutes at that time. They're profiling him, and you find out all the stuff Willie. And then, man, Willie could dress. Man, Willie could dress. So when Willie, I started to hear things about him coming back, in the news. And I found out what it was about, the whole Kamala Harris affair and all this type stuff. I'm like, I didn't take it seriously. And then some of my friends from the left were saying that she was too hard on, the hood.
Right.
So, but whatever. I listened to her. And, man, I was thoroughly impressed. It changed my views.
Yeah.
It really changed my views.
Right.
And I think she's got a lot more substance than, if you're just looking from a media perspective, what they're putting out there. She's got a lot more substance to her.
I worry about, some positions that the Democratic Party and some people in the leadership of the Democratic Party clearly are just going way too far to me. And that would be my concern. And so when we come to something of this nature, the normal knee-jerk reaction is immediately he's got to resign. I would love to see a process where we come to that conclusion. Hopefully we'll get there. He's come out and made that first statement. Today, hopefully, some more of this will be reveal itself. But ultimately, I just would love. I don't like the knee-jerk reactions of extremes. You gotta, because I believe there are a lot more people who are in on the rise up in leadership and power and things of that nature who may have these things in their past, and I don't want us to lose their contribution to society because in their youth they've had some indiscretion. They did something wrong or something.
This is the thing, though. I'm dealing with a circumstance around this, right now. But at the end of the day, what happens is these people get to these positions, and because no one's ever checked them on it, they think they're infallible. And so when something like this happens, they go into full-fledged protect my legacy career kind of mode because they're afraid of, like you said,
right.
Everybody's now trying to take your livelihood.
Yes.
They don't want you to work again. They don't want you to speak again.
Right. Now, the other dynamic of it, of course, is if he does resign, we got a brother in the wings. It's not like having a brother on the wing. You got this sharp brother.
Yeah.
Justin Fairfax.
Right.
Young,
Fairfax
good-looking,
is there.
Obama-esque. He's got, high forehead, so he got a lot of surface
area. Wow.
Got a lot of surface
the
area
views of the co-host.
But, he's a prominent Democrat in Virginia. Second guy to be elected there statewide. So I think the stake will be, I don't think you're going to have a major drop-off. You'll lose a lot, but I just want to see a process. I don't like the knee-jerk. It's extreme. You got to do this, and
we talked about that a couple weeks ago. With Kevin Hart thing as well. Something I do, since we're kind of doing a free-for-all, because, look, it is what it is with Washington. I'll just be honest with y'all. But the Jussie Smollett.
Yes, Chicago.
Yeah. There you go.
First of all,
Okay.
you know, so
Okay.
you got some basic rules of life you live by. Is it a good idea to go to Subway at 2 in the morning? I mean, you just start some basic on the streets of Chicago.
So now this is where I
just
could
saying the
not
basic.
wait for this discussion because my corporate apartment when I was with Bank of America, was 151 North Michigan. I could see as far as the Shed Aquarium to my south, and I could see the Navy Pier out the back. This is why we broke y'all too, because this, you know, a junior, I was on the 31st floor, so yeah, but seriously though, and
I thought parking stopped at 29, so you was two,
man,
two
it was
floors above the parking.
I'm telling you, man, but God, y'all, but God, but so this area that he was in, that was kind of like my neighborhood. I'm just gonna say it like this: your boy shouldn't have been down there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
2 in the morning. Hold on, let me say it this way. You
Daryl,
go walk the
minus 45 degrees, wind chill.
I mean,
come on, man.
I started there.
I don't know the story, so would you share?
All right, here we go. So
the guy from Empire, right?
He's on Empire. He's a young guy, Empire. You know, so he decides to go out 2 o'clock in the morning to Subway, I guess, to get something to eat. Okay. Now, I didn't know this, but he'd also been harassed on the show. He'd received an envelope with some white powder mailed to the studio.
I didn't know that.
Yes, that come. And so he heads out of his place 2 in the morning, going, and two men in ski masks attack him, saying derogatory words and
Make America Great Again.
Make America Great. Right. And then they put a noose around his neck, and somehow he escapes and heads back to his apartment. He was on the phone at the time of the attack with his manager, who heard this attack happen and whatnot, comes over. I guess they call 911, all that kind of stuff. But so it's being blown up into this. It's a hate crime. You know, he was targeted, things of that nature. You know, and so, but for him being a star, I think it's any other attack or mugging or something.
There were questions around it, man. As you know, did it really happen? That kind of thing started to come out. I mean, now they're saying they may have a person of interest.
Sounds like they staged it.
That's what everyone was saying. And like I said, that particular
but for
area,
him personally, or for the studio, or for the show, or you know.
Well, if they find out that he made this up, I mean, his career is done.
Why would you think he? What I'm saying, I'm just saying, look at the story on the surface.
It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense.
Maybe the 2 o'clock. So let's start with it.
Him out.
Let's start with the 2 o'clock Subway run. I mean, because most of this stuff is cold
minus 45 degrees right there by the lake. Come on, man, really, bro? I wasn't going out if it was 10 below.
I'm going to concede that people make.
Not. I live there. No way. No one's out. I mean, there's like 4 or 5 people out, and 4 of them got on uniforms.
Yeah. Now they did show a lot of street surveillance. Right. They only showed two people.
Exactly. I know, man.
That they said might be witnesses to what happened. But when someone tells a story, unless I have a reason not to believe, I'm gonna be cautious. My first concern was that 2 o'clock Subway run. We'll let that go now.
Right.
The second thing is though, this happens on the scene. I'm not surprised your manager doesn't right then and there start calling 911. Listen, there's an attack going on. That didn't happen. But when they found him back in his room, he's back. They show him coming in his building, the video. He's still wearing the noose.
Right.
He's got the noose on that they threw around his neck. And I don't know if it was a big full-fledged, let's get you, we're going to hang your noose, or somebody using extension cord noose or some other kind of rope. There's a lot in this thing that's kind of up, but
like I said, he's talking to you guys from a lawyer. I'm talking subject matter expert. I was there. I know that area.
Ain't nobody going.
He shouldn't have been there at 2 o'clock in the morning.
But he was. Let's assume he was.
Okay,
though.
yeah, he was.
Because it's easy with Subway to say the guy can't. He was here. At
It
Subway.
sounds like situation going wrong.
Right. Whoa, give me some more of that.
He was looking for the hookup.
Oh my God.
Hey, he said it again. The views of the station ownership do not necessarily reflect those of the show either. Okay, now back at you.
So you think that there was a hookup that went bad?
Hey man, you know what? It was challenging for me. I'm just gonna say it was challenging for me to accept that story.
Well, I mean, because the other thing is you don't have to report it. You don't have to go public with if something like that happened.
Well, I was thinking though he had the broken ribs and he was cut up.
Right.
So you can't go back to the set saying I was skateboarding.
Right. I guess so. Right. Are they filming now? Because he's in Chicago.
Yeah, but I heard part of it was shot in Chicago. Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
so-
I y'all brought up some interesting points of possibility that this was something else. I'm always cautious about questioning something
that's
that
what I'm
happened,
saying, man.
Because there are too many people that things really happen to,
Right.
and because they don't think they'll be believed, and the backlash, they just brush it under the rug.
Right. Hey, look, we got to go to a break. What we gonna talk about, man? Let's come back and talk about Roger Stone, man.
You want Roger, man?
Let's talk about Roger. And I want to talk.
I want CNN.
I also want to find out what we're gonna do about these taxes. I think we might finally get them.
The tax returns.
Straight up the middle on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star.
Hey, man, I love it.
Hey, this is Miss K with K's Kitchen, cooking Chicago-style fried chicken and fish with the authentic Chicago-style mild sauce. Come check us out at 5508 North 50th Street in Tampa. We're open Wednesday through Saturday from 12 to 6, or you can call us at 813-368-5196. Again, that number is 813-368-5196. See you soon.
Hello, this is Angie Fox, founder of the Ash Wednesday Cigar Club. We meet every first Wednesday of the month at a Tampa Bay area cigar lounge. $20 per person includes a featured cigar, libation, appetizers, and a door prize ticket. Check out our list of upcoming events at ashwednesdaycigarclub.com.
Hey, this is Agent Wright, better known as Mr. Clean. You looking for some great barbecue? Come see them two brothers in the grill, located at 423 Virginia Street, Charleston, West Virginia. We got ribs, chicken, pulled pork, brisket, collard greens, mac and cheese, baby. Come get some and get you a nice, smooth cigar. 304-550-4431. That is 304-550-4431. Come get some, baby. The Rib Man, mama, the Rib Man.
In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star. You're on Straight Up the Middle. And we're talking about Roger Stone now. We had a lively discussion, and I was explaining to the attorney as far as network security and these laws and things like that.
I don't know if I like how you say it. You say attorney like something's on your shoe. Like I got some attorney on the bottom of my shoes, man.
I'm sorry. I beg your pardon. Clinton Paris, Esquire.
Esquire Reed.
Yeah.
But anyway, you were saying about
legal
Roger
counsel,
Stone.
conciliary.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want?
Hey, man.
But no. So they were afraid that he was going to, and you would have thought him being such a smart guy.
Paint the Roger Stone picture. Who's Roger Stone, and why the FBI even at his house?
Roger Stone's a self-proclaimed dirty trickster. Roger Stone is a Nixon. I mean, that's his idol. That was his idol from day one. Right. Richard Nixon. Roger Stone started doing little things around D.C. Started what's called, these political action committees.
Right,
these guys, right? And so he went into business with Paul Manafort years ago.
And when they split, Manafort got the third world dictators, and Stone got Nixon and his crew.
Right. And see, this is the thing. Well, that was actually a little bit later than that.
Okay.
Later than that.
Got it.
But they formed this lobby company, and what it used to be, as a lobbyist, you didn't go in and directly advocate for those people that you worked with. It just seemed too much of a conflict of interest.
Right.
But they made it cool.
Yeah.
They made it cool.
How
so
does
now
he
you
get
can go
with Trump, though? How does Stone and Trump get together?
Well, same thing. He had so much power. I mean, if you look back at it, I heard it said one time that he looks like a Forrest Gump of politics. He's been with every major situation, meeting or something like that. Roger Stone is in that room somewhere. He's shaking someone's hand.
So he's been advising Donald Trump for decades.
For decades, right.
Okay.
He threw it out one day. He said, hey, almost, 25 years ago, you should run for office. But he had too much other stuff going on. And since then, he's been putting it in his ear. And then last 4 or 5 years ago, he said, you should do it.
After Obama, if Obama can win, man, surely you can win.
That's what he's thinking.
They're like this guy.
Now we're seeing it takes a little more than just I'm a TV star, real estate guy to run this country.
I don't know. He's doing it. It may not be doing it the way we think it should be done, but he's doing what he's doing.
Okay, so
I'm just saying that's the scary part.
Yeah, I mean that our standards have gotten to that place.
It's like my daughter
where
told
we
me when
think
she
that
started
that's
driving
doing
the car. She said, "I thought this was tough. This
You
ain't
know
that
what,
tough,
man? You know
Y'all
what?
been talking how tough this is."
I've been thinking that maybe as a life goal, one thing I really want to do if I don't do anything else, I might go back to school and be an attorney. So
that's all it is.
Yeah,
but just schooling and talking.
I'm gonna go back to what you were saying about him actually doing it. No, he's not doing it. The government was shut down. All right, we're still trying to dig out of this stuff.
Yeah,
So
we
he's
will.
not
But I mean, we can go on with that. That be next week's show.
All right.
But as a Roger Stone, though, I'm gonna tell you the thing that got my attention. Was it on Arsenio Hall thing to make you say go?
Right.
Was that on Arsenio Hall?
Right.
I just was surprised by that CNN truck sitting there 4:30 in the morning.
I forgot what the actual or how they knew.
They didn't tell you. Here's what they said. We were doing some hardcore, foot leather journalism, and we were watching the courthouse, and we saw some unusual stuff. And so we sent a guy from New York to Roger Stone. Really?
Yeah.
You just picked Roger Stone out?
Are you saying that there is a leak?
I didn't say that. I'm just saying I just find it unusual that truck is sitting there, cameras roll. Listen, they're about to knock the man's door down. You got 29. Did anybody just say, excuse me, CNN? Can y'all back up a little bit while we go in?
But this is the thing, though. I'm looking at your point, or listening to your point. It's funny because, look, they knew, and to your point also, there was a leak. There's no way in the world you had that kind of setup ready to start filming this. You had the helicopter going, and you had the helicopter going.
It was a drone. They went drone. It was a drone.
But I'm saying no.
Yeah. The FBI.
The FBI had the drone, but the local newspaper or the local news there had the helicopter flying around that morning.
Hey man, what's word got out, man?
Yeah.
So we get that
and so,
piece.
Yeah, they go and but I mean, what we're missing is
that a problem?
They had the whole forensics truck set up in front of his house. They were ready.
They were looking to search. They were looking for evidence.
Right.
Okay.
They were looking for evidence.
Do we have a problem with that mechanism of law handling that way?
Man, come on, man. Look, they've been going in the JoJo crib down in South Miami at 2:00 in the morning, not even letting them put on sweatpants. So you think I care?
Right. I'm
gonna be real. I'm gonna be real.
One thing I try to be straight up the middle, and what's good for one side is good for. I like.
There
people
you go.
Being treated,
There you go.
I like people who
namesake
being treated decent with respect, no matter who you are.
Wrong is wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, and I looked at that because if you're telling the media before you engage in high level you can't even get the names of FBI agents.
Right.
You know, tell you, what do you do? I research with the DOJ, do some government work. You don't even know who they are.
Right.
In our community right around us, that's one. So that piece to me got my attention, though. Now, do I care? No, I'm just noticing it. That's one piece. But then we get to the second part. Is what does this mean for the investigation? What does this mean for collusion? And how does Roger Stone fit into it?
I don't know, man. I'm starting to hear on this collusion front, Trump may not have, quote unquote, directly colluded. He may be smart enough to avoid that. But what we're going to find out is that people that were part of that campaign colluded all day long.
Can I decode that? What I thought you heard it say is he was too dumb. With the collusion,
I didn't say that.
Like when the Russians got it on the table, Trump right there in the bowl. Just get some of that.
Hey, they're all over Facebook, man.
He was
the Ruskies are all over Facebook. All right,
hey man, we all look alike.
Mind comrade.
He couldn't even collude effectively. That's how incompetent he is. He can't.
Hey, look,
we got him surrounded everybody. He can't get his hands on the collude. That's really what you're saying. He was too inept.
I don't want any problems, guys. I don't want any problems. But no, man, that's really, come on. So you can tell me everyone else had, some touch with the Russians and he had none whatsoever?
So I have been in environments as a lawyer sometimes. There's no doubt that things will happen. I say, whoa, time out. We need to get, let's get so-and-so and so-and-so out of the room for this.
Right.
Because I understand we need that. If this goes down, we want somebody left, so let's get somebody away from this. Or hold on, wait, no. You're not signing that. Give me that. This is going to go into my letterhead, and that way you're a step removed, and then I can go into my lawyer maneuver. I get that piece with how this stuff. And I just wonder whether or not, I don't think Trump was that sophisticated to keep himself shielded, or the whole, because this thing was just haphazard being whatever they were doing.
So I'm thinking, if you've got a decent attorney, which is questionable when you've got Rudy Giuliani,
right?
They can paint a picture where he was that one step removed. I mean, I think there's a possibility, and I'm hearing that more and more.
And here's how I know Trump is savvy. He's never done email.
Right.
Never done email.
Right.
I doubt if he does text either. And when it was interesting, I wouldn't be surprised, and I've had clients who don't take phone calls. They have other people take calls. They don't even take calls. So when they say Donald Trump Jr. called these other people, he probably did call. That doesn't mean he didn't get to talk to Donald Trump, though.
So what about from a legal perspective, if it is on their behalf, are they still culpable?
I think you become part of the conspiracy. Absolutely.
Okay.
If I conspire with somebody to go rob a bank, I don't actually go rob the bank.
Right.
And the person going to do it, I'm here for so-and-so. We put this together. That's why I'm doing this.
Right.
You're just as complicit. It's mens rea and is going to be attributed to just as well in the intent to commit, particularly in a conspiracy. But I don't know that we have a crime. I think we have a breach of the public trust. Those are the things.
A breach of the public trust when it comes to a national election?
No, because here's the deal that nobody really wants to say openly, and we get information from political campaigns, get information from foreign entities all the time. That piece is no big deal. Really, that is not a surprise. There are people that maneuver campaigns and around campaigns to help the guy that they want to get elected.
And you do know that's illegal, right?
I'm just saying what happens.
All right, I know, but that's illegal.
All the politicians in D.C. need to be cautious,
right?
Because they all could easily.
I get that.
This is going to be the standard.
Then we can go back and refine. Because look, you could say whether or not their intent is nefarious. You can say getting this information from offshore from India.
Yes.
could be a violation.
And
of that.
You have countries that are friendly to us, Israel and England, France,
right? But still,
Mexico and Canada,
right? That's still a foreign entity.
Yes, and that get in that subtlety, and we get in other. Think what we're doing in Venezuela. Look at this.
Absolutely.
Talk about collusion. We got a guy that hadn't got one vote. He's the president. The guy didn't get one vote.
I know, but man, look, what's the alternative?
You let people decide in their country what's going to happen and not happen.
Right?
Yeah, that's what you do.
But
you
then you got to think
sovereignty.
about you got to think about the whole Caribbean economy.
No, see, that's money though. Everybody, each country should have. And listen, that's what these people
sound
are right
like
now
a nationalist.
Saying.
Sound like a
I'm
nationalist.
just saying, look, we can't go sticking our hands in other people's business.
I get
and we
it.
mad because somebody ran ads in America. We're going to put 5,000 troops in Colombia.
Yeah, I think that was intentional too.
I know it absolutely was. And
he wanted everybody to see that. Yeah,
but Roger Stone, going back, Roger Stone's connection and all this, the fact that they've arrested him, it seems like to me that they're trying to wrap things up.
Well, that's what according to what what's his name, Whitaker said a couple weeks ago. That's what it looks like. It looks like he is. Hey, DJ CEO says we got to go to break. We're going to come back. Hey, it is Super Bowl weekend, so we're going to talk about the A.
There they go.
We're going to talk about the Super Bowl.
Everybody
straight up the middle.
Pull up Brady out their butt. Go ahead. Everybody.
Straight up the middle, In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone's a star.
My name is Gil Sampson. I didn't come from a very rich family, and so paying for college would have been very tough. I don't know if I would have been able to go to the college that I went to, and then I don't know if I would have gotten into the career that I am in. So I think Bright Futures has done a lot to shape my life. Got a job as a structural engineer, and I design residential buildings, commercial buildings all over the United States. Because of Bright Futures, I was able to go to college. So many kids just don't even ever get that opportunity. And to be able to do it and not have any debt when I graduated is amazing. And it was all thanks to Bright Futures.
Florida has created more than 1 million jobs in only 5 years, and a great education connects our students to these exciting opportunities. That's why the Florida Lottery has funded Bright Futures scholarships to help over 725,000 students attend college. Because every play is for education. The Florida Lottery. Just imagine.
Hi, this is Dr. Veronica Walters, also known as Dr. V, the head of school at the Walters Academy for Entrepreneurship, a place that we like to call The Way, where we're educating today's youthpreneurs to be tomorrow's billionaires through social entrepreneurship. Do you have a student who's bored, frustrated, gifted, inquisitive, creative, business-minded? Then maybe you need to check The Way out. Listen, we have an educational platform that allows for individualized instruction. It's strength-based, project-based, and designed to help your student become the absolute best they can while starting their own business and being an entrepreneur. If you're looking for something different and you need to find a more excellent way, then you need to visit us at The Way. That's The Way, www.thewaetampa.org. Or you can call us at 813-603-7923. We look forward to showing your student a more excellent way at The Way.
Straight up the middle on In Touch Radio, reality radio, where everyone's a star. I'm your host, Drew Pittman. I got the good attorney, Clint Paris, DJ CEO.
Good morning.
Wrapping up the show. We got to talk about the A. The A is popping this weekend.
Atlanta. Well, Atlanta's always jumping if you willing to, if you up for the big city stuff. And I'm hoping that they have their best foot forward. They got a brand new stadium. Have you been to the stadium? I've not been there.
I haven't been yet,
but everybody tells me
Mercedes-Benz, it's only second to AT&T Stadium down in Texas.
You think it's second?
Oh, I know it's second.
I don't know, man.
I know it's second, man.
People come back for that thing. They ain't
been to Dallas yet.
Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, so you got the new stadium,
right?
You got Gladys singing,
right?
She's gonna sing the national anthem,
right? You got Big Boy performing, Travis Scott.
Now, what do you think about the controversy around those performers participating?
My thing is, Big
protest?
Boy, I was hoping that Andre, Outkast collectively would perform, but Big Boy, you got to do it. The Super Bowl's there, you got to do that.
Does that does that cross the line that used to be the one where where
it's the whole Kaepernick thing?
And what is the Kaepernick thing at this point?
Well,
now today, I know it started, but what is it today?
I still say the guy should have a job, but I mean, it is what it is. Do you want to hire the guy that took you to EEOC?
Right, but so how does that? But from an entertainer standpoint, what's the Kaepernick thing today? Though, are you now protesting that he's?
Well, Jay-Z's leaving. He's leading a contingent of. We don't do that. We don't do that, and so he told a few people, no, you're not supposed to. You're not going to support that because we support Colin Kaepernick. And I mean, it's an obvious connection there. Jay-Z has a sports company now, sports management.
Man, I don't care what Jay-Z. Jay-Z don't run nothing.
Well,
nobody voted for Jay-Z. He
right.
don't put food on my table. Jay-Z really don't.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you what it is.
He wants you to go vegan too. I mean, come on, man.
Some people will do that. But that's the crazy thing, man. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen that Fire Festival.
Okay, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Look, that's where we saw the power of the social media influencer. And that's what he is, not only through social media, but a social influencer. If Jay-Z says something.
Listen, I'm going to tell you where his influence is. It's at the door because Gladys is singing.
Well,
that's what I said. That's what it got to me. I thought to myself, but she brushed that thing off. She said, I get all excited and I tingle like I'm
right. But she's like one of the few people that could do that. She's one of the few people that we're not really going to bother for doing that. Gladys Knight is not trying to take a stance against. I mean, she's Gladys Knight. Now, Travis Scott decided to go ahead and do it. Maroon 5 did it.
Yeah. Right. Well, they need a.
But there were others that they asked before
that don't have the stature, or you have to make a call, and from a career. I just don't like people telling other people what to do.
Well,
I don't like that. I don't like that. Stay in your lane.
That's the reality.
And I agree.
That's the reality of social media and social influencers.
So that's one part. You got the people, because I don't really know what today the Colin Kaepernick thing is. Is it that he's being, excluded?
He's being blackballed out of the league, man.
So that was their approach. That's why you don't.
And going back to that point of, I don't want to see a man's means of making a living, even though it's not his only. I don't want to see that taken away from someone.
You mean Colin Kaepernick?
Yes, I don't want to see that.
No, right, exactly. But let me walk through that a little bit. Let me listen more. Okay, so you got Colin Kaepernick protesting police violence and injustice in the community.
Trying to bring attention to it.
Right now.
Right.
So what's the protest today relative? Are people now saying don't perform in the halftime show because of that issue and we need more focus, or because of the way they treated Colin Kaepernick?
Well, and I think it's a mixture of both. If they thought it out, I think right now though the immediate response is because of how they treated Colin Kaepernick.
Got it. Oh, so you got Kaepernick done. Then you got the Rams, and you've got Brady coming in to play. I don't know if I would love to hear from my Patriot fans. What kind of shenanigans are you expecting Brady to pull? I mean, there's got to be a Brady gate because there's something Brady does. We've gotten is it going to be a cleat gate this time where he sabotaged other team cleats? Is there going to be a noise gate?
It's going to be L gate. It's going to be L gate. That's what it's going to be. It's going to be L gate.
I'm
going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why Tom Brady is going to lose tomorrow.
Okay.
Tom Brady is going to lose tomorrow because the Super Bowls where he has lost, what you got to do is you got to put your hands on Tom Brady. And the LA Rams have an interior that will put their hands on
the defensive line.
Exactly. Their defensive line, especially the interior, Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh, they're going to touch Tom Brady. And that's going to throw Tom Brady off. The Giants, when they beat him those 2 times, NFC opponents. But you had Jason Pierre-Paul, you had Strahan, you had O.C. Umenyiora.
Right, yes.
Those guys were touching him, and he couldn't stand it.
Okay,
the Eagles did the same thing last year.
Here's a guy that's going to be standing on that field for the 9th time.
Right.
He kind of knows to expect. Would you agree? He's ready. He knows how to get ready, how much sleep to get.
I mean, the Giants got him twice.
He told you that about 2 weeks ago. Hey, baby, you gotta let me I need my. I'm gonna have to get my strength up. I'm gonna have to get. So just ease up on it, brother. Ease up on me. Right. Let me get myself to get right.
This guy.
But we got golf over. This guy, he's never been there. He don't even know how to get his tickets right.
You know what?
How many tickets he get? Does he know? Does he know how to get more tickets for some of the scrubs that don't play?
Sometimes that's the best thing. You know what? Speaking of that, man, we got to touch on that Deion special, too. I don't know if you guys saw that 30 for 30.
I was want to touch on Deion plugs.
Oh, man.
We want to touch on Deion plugs. You see the plugs Deion got? Deion got all that's plugged in. That's all thickened up.
So he must have cut it. He cut it for the 30 for 30.
He got it all. He got plugs in, man. He's nice.
Wow.
Deion, get a full head of hair back, man.
But no, man. Super Bowl prediction, I think it's going to be 27-16. The Rams. 27-16. I think they're going to hit Brady. I think he's going to score later on, but early on, I think they're going to really frustrate him. And the Rams have a pretty decent secondary, and those guys play a good zone. They can hold them.
So, in general in life, my position is I don't like upstarts. And I think there is nothing, and I'll tell you in my profession, I don't care how many facts a young lawyer has, how much law you got. If you hadn't been in that room before, when that guy will strike, your sphincter tighten up a little Your sphincter tighten up a little bit, and I pop my coconut. I kick back. Listen, I worry about that young guy being on that stage, that crowd, that moment. Something he's dreamed about. Now he's got to live it.
But this is the thing, though. What people forget, he's in L.A. He lives in L.A. It's every day like that.
No, it's not. That's the whole key.
It's Los Angeles, man. People want to be in Los Angeles.
Bro. No, I'm your profession.
Los Angeles.
The first day you
Holly
walked
Berry
on the floor,
tweeting this guy.
The first day you walked on that floor in New York, right? The first you walked on that.
Hey, it is what
everybody was going. It was like, hey, wait.
It was crazy. It was crazy,
right.
man.
Would
I remember.
You say that's your best day. That was your best day ever.
Nah, it's not. It's not your best day because you have not learned anything. You're just getting there. I mean, and I'll give you an even better example. When you go to the military, you're in the MEP station. You're about to leave.
Right.
You don't know what you're about to go to, and when you're about to go to war.
Right.
You don't know what you're about to go to, but you learn.
I go with experience. I'm going to go.
And these guys have had 16 games to learn.
I'm going to go 29-23 Patriots.
Okay.
And everybody out there I know watching on Facebook and TV, you probably just fell out your chair that I'm going to go with Brady. I'm actually going on the record. I got to go with Brady.
Hey, Atlanta Falcons fans, I want to remind you all, y'all lost and y'all had them down 35 to whatever.
But either way, listen, I think it's a win, and it's a win for everybody. I really believe that. And
Atlanta's on the map, man.
Yeah.
They're doing well. I think they the good exposure for the city is going to make even more companies. You got Facebook coming there, building a server farm there, if I'm not mistaken. This is just a lot of stuff happening. I'm glad to see that happen with Atlanta.
Right. So it's a good time though. It's one of our proud, gleaming
cities on the hill.
Yeah, to be proud of, because that city was almost gone in the early 70s. I remember going there; it was almost gone, and they really did a great job. And I think this is going to be a great weekend. And listen. I don't know how this thing with the Virginia mayor is going to, Roger Stone is going to, governor, is going to play out.
Yeah, everything,
Roger
right?
Stone. But I know one thing. There's never a dull day in the United States. So we'll be back next week with plenty more to talk about. And we might even get to the NBA.
We might be talking about some trades.
Let's get some help.
Hey, everybody, have a great week out there. We appreciate you listening this morning. If you can see it, you can achieve it. So just continue to move forward, even when things seem difficult. You don't know where the next is coming from. You can overcome. You can do it. Straight up the middle, In Touch Radio, reality radio where everyone's a star. Thank you again for joining. Everyone be blessed. Have a great week.
See you.